Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start recording. We've got Wesnoth here with Hardwood, and we're watching some replays today. And we're going to see how these guys do. How you doing today, Hardwood?
I'm doing great. I'd like to welcome our viewers too. Welcome to another Rosewood broadcast. I'm going to keep saying that. Is that okay?
I like it, man. I enjoy
Yeah.
that quite a lot, actually. So, I'm actually...
Man, what was this map called again?
I don't know, but I am totally ecstatic to see...
I've seen this map so many times, but I forgot what the name is.
It just says Solymos-HUN versus Dauntless. There's no name
whatever.
here. Can you see it? Can you see it in the replay? No?
I can see it on your screen, but I don't know how to see the name of the map. I've seen this map so many times, I just don't know what it's called. Whatever.
That is a curious thing, isn't it? You would think that you'd be able to see. Scenario objectives, perhaps? The Walls of Pyrennis.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty cool name. So Bamber Boozler in my chat is asking what this is. This is called Battle for Wesnoth. It's kind of a top-down, I want to say, it's not isometric, it's like a hex grid tactics game. And it's totally open source, it's totally free, it's on Steam if you want to download it and check it out. And it's honestly one of the most impressive open source projects, open source games, sort of team development type game. It's one of the most impressive projects I've ever seen, ever. If only because it's just the production value. Obviously there's going to be some problems because nobody makes money off of it, but even so, the production value on the music, the art, it's obvious that a lot of love went into this game, and it's just impressive to me. So I've been sort of doing these casts with my buddy Hardwood here on this Rosewood production, as he says, and it's been a lot of fun. Sort of casting these old replays of online online games. So without further ado, would you like to introduce anything about the map, anything about the players involved? I've never seen this before, this particular map.
So the players, I feel like I should talk about Dauntless first because,
Okay.
I mean, it's Dauntless. Some people would say he is the best Wesnoth player to have played the game.
Wow.
And you could make a good argument for that. He's just, I mean, the way he plays, although he has kind of left us, well, he came back and played one game, but
Did he burn out?
He wasn't really there. He disappeared with a lot of the players who played this game regularly on the ladder. For anyone who doesn't know what the ladder is, it's a competitive kind of community or system made by players of the game. It's unofficial, but it's like it was pretty well respected. And a lot of the players left the game actually with 1.14. So this right now we're having to run an older version of the game called 1.12.
Yep.
And so the way Dauntless plays, he just manages the risks so well. He will take a small advantage and just grow it slowly, sit on it and enjoy, as Reza Mav would like to say. And his opponent here is Solymos-HUN, or Hun. I don't know how you're supposed to say it.
I assume he's supposed to be a Hun, but then again, it's all capitalized.
Oh, it's a woman, or a female player.
Oh, is it? Okay.
At least that was what I was told. So, she played this game a lot as well. At some point, I think a lot of the games that were coming out on ladder were featuring her just because she played so much.
Nice.
So, pretty good player also.
Okay.
So we should expect to see a good game.
Absolutely.
On this map, can you mouse over the little frozen keeps?
Well, I see these guys. Is this what we're talking about?
Ones.
Those are castles.
Yeah, castles.
Oh wow, these are all keep
ones
tiles.
Are actually impassable.
Really?
They are impassable, so you can't go on them. They're actually just terrain obstructions.
Oh, fast. Okay, I was gonna say that is a lot of keeps for people to make new enemies at, or new soldiers at, but it's actually just kind of a trick. This is a meme. You can't even get here. Fascinating.
Yeah, so actually, there's a lot of small alleyways in this map, and It's
Yeah,
it's
this
quite
is
interesting because you
two by
can block
two.
it off and have like a kind of urban combat experience. Very nice.
Appears that we've got a question from the Twitch chat. Fox from Abyss is asking me. Well, really, he's a question for you, since you know a little more about this game than me. Why are Draconians / Dragons / whatever they're called, Drakes?
Drakes.
Why are they not played much in competitive? My guess, before Hardwood, before we get the expert opinion, my guess would be that they're just kind of hard to play. They're kind of fragile, and you have to be really good with maneuverability to play them properly. Would you say that's about right, Hardwood?
Drakes are very hard to play, but I don't know if they are played less in competitive play because usually what we do is we just go all both random, because having the random faction at the start of the game makes it so you cannot be counter recruited against. Imagine if you would pick Undead and just get countered from the very start.
Right.
That's not a very nice feeling.
Yep.
So actually, I think it's probably more accurate to say that everyone just goes random instead of not picking something.
It is interesting, though, that you see less specialization in a game like this. But then you look at a game like StarCraft, and almost everyone specializes. It's very rare, as far as I understand, to see a random race player in StarCraft 2 or even in
Oh yeah,
StarCraft 1.
definitely.
I wonder why.
I think big part of this game is because the opening recruits are just so important.
Mm-hmm.
In StarCraft, from what I understand anyway, I'm a noob at StarCraft, but you could go with some like mostly safe build, even scout early
For the most part.
if you are. Yeah, so it's not like you're just going to get 5 pulled.
Right. Well,
in Brood War, because
maybe
you can't get 5 pulled in. Yeah.
Maybe if you're playing against Destiny, but anyway, let's let's go ahead and start the game. So we've got Dauntless versus Solymos-HUN is how I'm going to say that.
Yeah, it's Undead against Elf.
Yep.
For everyone who remembers the last time we watched, it's Undead is a very deadly, chaotic faction with high damage.
Mm-hmm.
So usually what you'll see is Undead rushing on the first night with 2 Adepts and some other units. And Elf, people would say it's the best race to counter Undead, actually.
Really?
Because, yeah, you have Woses. We
Mm-hmm.
saw them in the first cast. They just do so well against skeletons.
Sure.
And they do well against Adepts too. Basically, it counters anything.
Right.
And you have mages as well to kill the skeletons at day. And Elvish fighters, they're so good at taking out Adepts. They cost only 14 gold. They have melee, they have ranged, they have hit points. What more could you want?
Right, exactly. And I guess that, yeah, I suppose that Undead doesn't really have a source of fire damage, so taking out Woses quickly is not all that easy, is it? You'd almost have to use Adepts, right?
Well, you would like to maybe use an Adept and then try to finish it with Skeleton, but then the Skeleton can get hit 2 times at night and lose most of its hit points, and it's really not pleasant.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested in these heroes that they randomly rolled. Solymos-HUN almost got lucky, and instead of getting the captain, she got the hero. And how nice would it have been for her if she had gotten the captain for that leadership?
Actually, the leadership it's good, but imagine it would be a sorceress. That's really lucky then. Because the sorceress would do arcane damage and just destroy anything that Undead could bring to the table.
Right, massive damage. But instead, the Undead's the one who got the caster with the big damage, so should be interesting. I'd like to see what these recruits look like. Again, these guys don't know who they're playing against. Well, they don't know which species they're playing against. Oh, that is fascinating. This is like a big money start or something, right? Like, this looks like a way bigger recruit than should be possible. Am I wrong about that?
Well, you have 2 keeps to recruit from. Actually, it's I think probably it's standard to
recruit. That is standard.
From both.
100 gold, and then yeah, 100 gold is normal, and then
I mean to move between 2 keeps.
Sure. No, I hear what you mean. That's really fascinating though that that's possible. You don't usually see that on maps, do you? Where it's like there's a keep and then another keep right within range.
Some maps have it, but yeah, like Sula's Ruins has it also.
I think this is the first time I've seen it personally, just in my own experience. Yeah. Granted, I have a little less, but even in all the games we've casted, I don't think we've seen this yet. This kind of setup on a map. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, it should be just taking them on sides getting some villages.
Sure, sure.
I'm interested about the Ghoul actually because I mean Ghoul, that's a defensive recruit,
That
and he
is.
doesn't know what he is going up against. So Ghoul might not even be that good sometimes.
Yeah, ghouls are
But
only
okay,
good against certain matchups. Although they're
yeah,
good. They're good in this
it's
matchup, right?
Dauntless. They're okay against Elf. You can make it work,
Yeah.
but you would like something aggressive for the first night anyway. But
Sure.
okay, it's Dauntless. He can do whatever he likes
He has 2
because he is
adepts.
Dauntless.
He has 2 adepts,
Yeah,
so he's got plenty of offense as
but the
well.
adepts are on 2 sides, so I don't know what he will do with the adepts. It's quite
You know what he's probably going to
quite-
do? I bet he's just going to grab village. Considering he's got this ghoul, as you say, a defensive weapon, I bet he's just going to grab villages and play real defensive and not actually rush the first night. This is a fairly big map, too. So
could happen also, yeah.
And then we've got the elves, the rebels up here. So she picked up a scout, which I think is pretty standard. You always want one, right? And then just
At least one.
look at just a ton of fighters. And you know, I was mocked the other day by you for picking up a woes in my starter recruit. But here we have presumably a good player doing the same thing. What do you have to say for yourself, Hardwood?
Well, it depends on the map, as always. You
Okay.
played on Isar's Cross. Actually, the woes might not be that bad on Isar. Oh, wait, no, did I mock you on freelance?
It was
I
freelance.
think I mocked you on
It was freelance that I made my woes. So no woes is on freelance.
Actually, I don't know about woes on the first turn, but I mean, you can make one woes work in most matchups anyway. It's not that big of a deal, but imagine you would get rushed by orcs or something on the first night, and then you have the woes, and it's just.
I think that's literally what
very
happened
tough.
too, and I was brutally crushed. For those of you not in the know in the Twitch chat, by what was that guy's name?
VVD.
VVD. Yeah. I was crushed by what was described as the first mini boss of Wesnoth. So to be fair, I don't know, I could have pulled that game out. I had a phone call and I had to quit, but I think I have to give it to him. He had me, but I'm slowly getting better, so I can cast these games a little more correctly, right? So we got this woes. What are we gonna see from the woes?
Probably just going towards a forest. I mean, that's the reason you would get on the first turn that early, because if you're not grabbing a village with. Actually, can you scroll up? Is there a village to grab? I don't know.
There is one right here.
Okay, so maybe you could take a village with the woes.
Yeah, that's within range.
Or you could just take the woes and hide it very early. That's
yeah,
one
hide
thing
it,
you could potentially
and then
do.
screw up the other guy's movement when they run up on it.
Against a really good player like Dauntless, I don't think that will work, because what these guys do is they will take the units they see and just do the math in their head.
Yeah, they'll do the math and see what's. I mean, obviously there's a woes mission, right? And or like conveniently there's woes money available, you know. So obviously it's what they must have done. Yeah, that's really smart. And the fact is, you know, here's what's interesting though. These forest tiles, I'm noticing this, they kind of block everything. You know, like look right here, this one here. It's very hard to get around this without stepping next to that tile. So if he could plant a woes in a spot like this, maybe even right here, you know, and the guy's trying to walk by, he may not have a choice other than to risk it, you know. So this could be interesting.
Yeah, let's see what happens. The woes is actually pretty good here, so yeah.
All right, so
just
villages, and he did take the adept, the one in the back, to the back village. So this is going to be a defensive first night, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he can't really rush. So
yeah.
Like against Elf, it would be absolutely marvelous to have the first night.
Yeah.
At least pressure, but
that's not going to happen, I don't think. And then it looks like Solymos is doing kind of the same thing, although she in fact did use the woes, as you know, as you said, she's trying to get it on the trees ASAP.
Yeah, so that woes could actually hop to another patch of tree in the next turn potentially.
Well, but at this point, Dauntless would see that, wouldn't he?
Depends if he has units in range for vision. I think
like
he doesn't.
I think he does. I don't know, maybe not. Okay, we got another skeleton warrior.
He might, yeah.
Pretty standard. Let's see. This is 5 movement on the ghouls, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, so in the chat we can see Dauntless is saying the map looked different a long time ago. I guess it's because it was changed.
I see.
Yeah, so the ghoul would be able to see the woes it was jumping. But okay, so maybe the reason why he went with this kind of recruit and village grabbing pattern is because he didn't know the map that well. It can
Right.
happen.
So he went for the sort of safe defensive play, you think?
Well, it's at this point it's more like a greedy play
Oh,
because he just maximized the village grabbing.
he did, yeah. I see.
Yeah.
Well, he probably could tell that this is. Would you say this is kind of a large map in terms of like? It seems like it would be almost a little difficult to get a good first rush safely, since there's just so much crap in the way. I mean, am I just
Well,
completely
really,
off base
all it
here?
depends on the most major thing is whether you have 2 adepts in range.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
with 2 adepts and even 1 extra unit, you can already put some significant pressure.
Take out
And with
one
1
enemy.
adept, it's kind of it could hit, you could not hit. If you don't hit, some bad things could happen to you.
I'm starting to think that if I ever want to truly get good at Wesnoth, I think I do need to start picking my my starts so I can just master individual, like Undead and then Rebels and then so on and so forth, just to get that, what do they call it, determined practice in, because I think that playing random, I'm perhaps missing out on some of these subtle tricks, like always pick up 2 adepts, that kind of thing,
Yeah, definitely. For newer players, it can help a lot if you're learning the game, just to pick 1 race and just play it like quite a bit, and
Yep.
then start playing other factions, because you can focus on what exactly you want to get better at.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what they do.
Scout's not doing
Moving
so
some more
much.
fighters in range.
Oh, he got a
I bet
mage.
Solymos is already feeling delighted that Dauntless is not rushing very hard.
Right.
Because that's what the mage tells me.
Sure.
The mage is bad at night. It's not for a defensive unit. So you would only get it for attacking it the next day.
Right.
And that's something she feels like she can afford.
She wants to be able to take out units when the day breaks. That's very good. Yeah. And that is a lawful unit, as you say, so it's going to do mega damage, especially versus, the fact that, our ghost here takes 10% extra damage, and all the skeletons take extra damage
takes,
by far.
10 reduced damage, but the ghost has low hit points.
No,
So it can basically...
From Arcane, he takes 10% more.
Mage is fire.
You're right. My mistake.
Well, yeah. So basically, the fire. Anyway, it's a vulnerability. You can consider it like that.
Sure.
Because it has low hit points.
Yeah, and with 18, you're not even if you are doing 10% less damage, you're gonna kill it fast
Still
with 18.
5-3 at night, so
right.
You can easily kill it. Yeah.
Sure. See, now I'm embarrassed. I got that wrong. All right.
You had the spirit of rightness.
That's true. I don't know why I thought mages did arcane damage.
Maybe in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup or something.
Yes.
So that adept is in range. Oh, actually, the other adept can reach as well.
Can he?
I didn't think that other adept would be able to reach, but okay, it's able to reach. So, all right, forget what I said.
He can.
We must have.
One, two, three.
Okay. One thing we should have done is calculate the movement points, to know if adept can reach or not.
Right.
Would that is the right adept quick? I'm not sure.
He's quick.
Been able to reach if he is not quick or not. But
well, he could reach.
Maybe
he could
would
reach
have been
this
able
over here if he wasn't quick. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he can step onto the castle, right? So even without being quick, both of them. He could get a double adept on this Elvish fighter here. So this.
I don't even remember what village the adept took in the first turn.
The lower. Well, he took this one down here in the first turn with his lower one. I'm not sure what he did on the second turn. But
with the other adept. I mean,
in any event, this is very good positioning on Dauntless's part because now he is set up.
This is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you have basically 5 units and a ghost, so it's quite significant pressure already. That woes at night. Actually, now Solymos might be rethinking things a bit because he went with such expensive units, and he doesn't have enough elvish fighters to really do that much. But okay, maybe the adepts will miss. Maybe the elvish fighters will survive.
Yeah.
Or he could leave the village. It's still an option. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple misses on that bat. But I'm more interested in what's going on over here. He bails. He runs away. And I think that's the smart choice, because now this adept is just sitting there like, what do I do for the rest of the night, you know?
Well, you would take the village with other units and hopefully be satisfied with that.
Sure.
Because taking a village is not that bad.
Yeah.
And okay, you might be able to threaten a little bit more. It depends. At least you would force Elf to keep his units around.
Okay, we got an archer.
Another adept coming. Wow, that's a very aggressive
3
recruit.
adepts.
And a skeleton archer, actually.
Yeah.
So usually the skeleton brand that you want to choose in this matchup is just melee skeletons. He recruited a skeleton archer, right?
Yes.
Can we confirm that?
Oh yeah, that's an archer.
Yeah, so skeleton archer, it's not that good against elf because of woes.
Sure.
And against fighters you can get some free hits, but
they get retail.
Well, the fighters can also melee the ranged skeleton, and it would do decent damage because it's blade.
Yeah.
Not
bad.
So
this is interesting though. Is like it's first watch now, but it's going to be second watch when I hit this turn. Well, after this turn's over, I mean. But he's still pushing with his 3 adepts. This is very, very aggressive, and I think that Solymos is doing the sort of smart thing by just camping out. And here's another thing. I know we talked about how they're going to do the math and look for that dirty woes money, as a Swartz user said in my chat, but I'm not so sure that Dauntless is aware that this woes is here. He probably suspects, but
I think it would be very reasonable to highly suspect it at least, because you look at how Elf positioned his units.
Yes.
The shaman and the fighter with just exactly the woes-shaped hole in between. Yeah,
the woes-shaped hole. Wow. That's really something. And you know, this is really throwing me for a loop here. These 2 tiles here, this impassable stuff. You know, my instinct was to think like, why is this mage not in the keep? You know, but like obviously you can't go up there. It's up on a mountain. So this is really, really interesting. The tactics that these blockages kind of are adding to the match, don't you think?
Yeah, it is, and actually it's good that he puts the shaman to be recruited in front, because that shaman, she would be able to slow on retail against adepts.
Right.
So she might live, actually.
Yeah, she might.
But okay, I don't think he will attack that shaman anyway. But
now he's going for this. Oh, he missed twice.
Well,
everybody missed.
Committing at second watch.
I guess so. I guess so. He's getting very bad luck.
Oh, really unlucky. So
you know what?
He just poisons the fighter with ghoul.
You know what I'd like to do is once this turn is over, I'm gonna cut down the chat because it's there's a lot of chat blocking the.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let me do that, and then we can talk about what exactly happened that turn, because that was kind of a big turn for Dauntless, and in a bad way. I mean, he got some good...
2 out of 6.
Yeah.
As Craig in the chat said.
Yeah.
So
2 out of 6 bad lucky.
That's like way less than you should expect to deal with magic attacks, because that's 70% hit rate.
Yeah.
And hitting 2 out of 6, that's like it's like you're going 70% miss rate instead.
Yeah. And he he got very little retail as well, so it's like not all bad, but he needed to make this attack big, I think, for this first night to go well. On the other hand, he did get poison on the fighter, I guess. I mean, that's something. I don't know. This looks kind of
it
silly.
Looks pretty nice for Elf now.
It does.
He didn't lose any unit. He has all the adepts in range to hit them.
Yeah.
1 adept can even be hit from 3 sides. So that should be at least 1 adept.
That's probably a dead adept for sure.
And then the next turn, the shaman would start slowing units, and the mage would come and at least be threatening to hit a day, if not hitting right now.
Although he can't hit the adept with the woes, even if he moves this fighter out of the way. The woes can't do it. So I guess we're going to see the woes swing on the ghoul, maybe?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you always want to get those ghouls dead early.
Sure, sure. Okay, he goes for the adept. That's the sort of soft meat.
2 out of... So he goes for, that adept because probably he had 22 hit points left, so he could get a kill.
I forgot the
With a
scout.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I didn't look at the scout. So
Okay.
2 adepts died. That's huge.
Yeah, Woes
That's
misses
looking
twice.
very bad for Dauntless already.
Well, he's
Now
getting...
we just see what I said earlier about the free hits on the skeleton archer.
Sure, although he missed all of them.
Yeah, well, okay.
What is that? Did you see that? The mage kind of like jumped forward and then Solymos was like, no, and moved back to the castle. I guess.
Yeah, probably just wanted to protect against any possible keep stealing.
Yeah.
Because maybe the woes would die, and then maybe the keep would get stolen, and something could happen. I don't know.
Curious.
It would still be dangerous.
It feels
for
unfortunate.
Undead to do that,
it feels unfortunate for Solymos that the mage couldn't actually get into the the thick of the action, and maybe.
It's okay actually. He killed 2 adepts.
True.
That's always what you want to do. The ghoul is going to stay, and it's going to die next turn. Probably the skeleton archer might even. I mean, he could run away, but okay. That's like 1 or 2 units will die, because then the shaman will catch another unit and slow that after the ghoul is taken out by the mage.
Seems kind of ugly for Dauntless. By the way, I've got
it's looking grim.
I've got Schwartz user in my chat asking, is this vanilla Wesnoth? Yep, this is actually 1.12, so it's a slightly older version, but there's no mods as far as I know.
This is corpse mod, I believe, because it shows the dead unit's bodies.
Yeah.
Ropes are still on the ground.
I was gonna ask you about that. I just didn't want to look stupid, so I didn't say anything. Like maybe there were corpses the whole time, and I just didn't realize.
No.
So Dauntless is going for it, even though night is ending.
Oh yeah, probably at this point he feels that he has to get lucky, and
he's got to commit.
Oh, I didn't even see about the bat.
Yeah, he's pillaging. He's pillaging back there.
So actually, if depending on how he trades out these units, because he has to stay. I mean, if you try and like do something at day after you retreat and are on flat ground, it's going to be even worse. And you have already lost so many units. You should just try to hope you can do something.
Get some kills, although he didn't.
And that bat will maybe be able to make some income damage on Solymos.
Yeah, enough income damage to make up for the sort of bad. What is the phrase for that? Bad encounter. There's a specific phrase I'm trying to think of. Bad engage is what they call it in StarCraft when you clash and it didn't work out so well for you. That's what Dauntless is getting here, is a bad engage. So he's got to make the best of it with this sort of pillaging action back here, which seems to be working so far.
Well, I think probably the scout. Well, it actually depends, because there's a skeleton archer preventing that scout from going to some faraway vale. So, but even if he loses some villages, he might be. I think it's quite likely he would just be fine, because he killed so many units, or he will kill so many units.
Yeah. I am interested also in the fact that we've got experience on a fighter and a scout. If he gets the scout to safety, if not killing, to the area where he can kill the bat, we may actually see a leveled up scout before too long. Probably not, though. I'm guessing this thing's gonna die.
Who knows?
Yeah. Okay, the poison doing big work. Solymos gets an archer.
So that archer is for killing the ghost, because he didn't have enough money for a mage.
Right.
Now hitting on the adept 1 out of 4.
Finally, he gets like at least 1 woes hit. Oh, and the adept goes down.
Wow, 3 out of 4. That's a lot of damage.
It is.
And that experience is in the experienced fighter now.
Yeah. So 1 more kill and he's leveled.
Now we can see the elvish fighters just getting their 2 damage shots in the ghost.
Yeah, not much.
It adds up. That's why she would recruit an archer, because the archer it doesn't do that much damage to a ghost,
but it has more attacks.
Ranged. So
And
actually,
yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
ranged.
decent at killing ghosts because the ghosts cannot drain you back. Ghosts are only really durable when they can drain
Right.
in long fights, or
Right.
when they can sit on a village and heal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Which he is not, so he's in trouble. I am very interested in this fighter. 18 experience, only needs 22 to get to level 2 because he's intelligent. Could be fun, and you know what? Dauntless doesn't really have the ability to kill this, does he?
he doesn't. So that fighter should probably level eventually
Yep,
into a captain.
I think so.
And then when you have a captain, it just gets really, really just that much harder for Undead to attack because it's a level 2 unit. It's more hit points, and you can boost mages and wozes at night.
Right.
So they would hit like it's dusk, and that's already not favorable for Undead.
No, it is. It is not favorable. This is interesting, man. Let's see how this plays out.
Okay, so that scout goes down.
Expected, really.
Yep. Now he takes a village with a ghost. Expect the archers to be able to hit a ghost. The archer and the fighters to be able to hit ghost next turn.
Sure.
And they're already preparing for next night. So Dauntless is all in at this point.
Yeah.
He's recruiting melee skeletons, adepts,
Yeah, 2
to
adepts
try
in
and
front.
hit the wounded elvish units. This is actually pretty common. What you'll find is when a chaotic player tries to commit and it goes badly for him on the first night. He will, usually against elves, you'll find that the elves are all low hit points. They may be poisoned. They may have experience, but they might die also. So you just want to keep streaming units. If you're orc, you would want to stream units on both sides, maybe.
Yeah.
And just never give him the chance to heal those units.
Sure.
Because he gets so much gold efficiency from just healing units that if you let him fully heal up, you're going to have a bad time ever coming back into the game.
For sure,
basically.
of course, yeah. So you have to actually make good on the promise that you made in the first engagement, more or less, you know, by doing this damage. Like, it doesn't mean anything if you don't get the units dead, you know. So I see. Let's see
it's
if we
an
can pull it
investment,
off.
so to speak.
Right, exactly.
You can learn more about investments on rosecrypto.com.
You can learn about cryptocurrency there, that's for sure. And by the way, Bitcoin is going nuts lately.
Yeah.
Oh, he got the kill.
It's gone up a lot. So, actually that dies. Okay.
He got it with his leader. And he got another kill with the woes.
He was hoping for more luck with the archer. That's why he used archer first. But okay, it's good that it died. It's good for him that it died.
Sure.
Now, can we see what units would be able to reach the shaman? She looks a bit exposed to me.
She does look a bit exposed. Well, the archer can certainly reach. That should be enough. The bat, of course...
Can adept reach? Adept can also reach. How much hit points does the shaman have?
Adept cannot reach. He's not quick.
Oh, okay. How much hit points does...
She only has 7.
Oh, okay. So, well, 7, it's reasonable, actually. So, the archer might not even try.
Yeah,
because
he'll get slowed.
And you would have to get the first hit before being slowed.
What a shame for Dauntless that this adept is not quick, that neither of these... Well, actually, this one's quick, but it can't, it's too far away.
Yeah. Well, it's also daytime, and even if you got the kill, it would be difficult because you're feeding it experience. That's exactly what the fighter needs.
Yep.
And okay, you're a skelly or adept would die next turn anyway.
Sure.
But yeah, really nice formation for Solymos, because you can see she's healing all the wounded elvish fighters with that shaman, while also curing the shaman. So pretty nice.
Well, if Dauntless is able, I'm going to be honest right now. If Dauntless is able to turn this around, I would be a little surprised. It feels like, you know, as long as Solymos can protect these sort of huddled, injured masses here, I don't see how Dauntless turns this around.
Yeah, it looks quite grim actually. So okay, let's see what we can do.
Kind of a little side battle going on here. Archer versus archer action.
Is that I think that's a fighter, not an archer.
Oh, it was a fighter? It's easy to get them confused when they have the bow out.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 out of 3, and now he only needs... Oh, he finishes with a bat.
That's curious.
Okay.
Oh, because he wanted to make room for the adept. That's genius. That's genius.
Oh, wow.
That's really smart.
That's a good move. Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
because I was curious. I was like, why is he trying to level up a bat? But it wasn't to level it up. It was just to make sure that the adept could still have a move to wreck the shaman. That's genius, right?
Yeah, that's a good move. Now that Woes is kind of blocked from hitting the skeleton, so you could hit a adept with it, but you might also miss. And okay, you still have the skeleton next turn to put on some village, maybe.
This is maybe this is the turnaround. Maybe we'll see it.
Well, it all depends on how well those elvish units can hit this turn.
Yeah.
Because Dusk is coming next turn already. 2 out of 3.
That's not so good. Okay. He didn't get the kill.
Or he.
Well, I meant the player.
Oh yeah. Okay, so 1 adept goes down. I think there's are there more adepts coming? There's 1 more coming eventually.
Is there?
Melee skeleton also.
Yeah,
So that skeleton, he can only reach the woes.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be hitting the woes though.
I don't think so either.
The mage might die now, and also the fighter might die, the really wounded guy. And that fighter dying could make the bad level. And then it would be quite tricky.
That would be tricky, because then the bat would also have zone of control at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, what's kind of a shame is that, like, I know that what Dauntless probably wants to do is if he just had a little more movement, or if this wasn't quite so zocked, how nice would it be if he could get the bat back here and then get a kill, and then it has Zoc and all this stuff is trapped over here. I mean, that would be interesting.
That would be wonderful, absolutely, if he could teleport the bat somehow.
Yeah, but this is very effectively zocked so that it can't do that, and that's kind of the effect of this wild and crazy map, because think about it, like, if these frozen impassable keeps weren't here, he could do that. You know, because bats just have massive movement. He could actually fly all the way around, but he can't. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what he does.
Yeah.
Taking the skeleton just to threaten villages, that's smart.
Oh, he goes for the...
hits the fighter instead. Okay,
I mean, this makes sense. He doesn't want it to level up. I think that makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense, definitely. That fighter that could level up, it's more of a concern than whether you can level the bat of your own.
Right.
Because the wounded fighter would also get healed.
Yeah.
But this guy, he is already dying, so he won't be able to accomplish much more in his life anyway, so...
It's true.
But okay, at least you could hit the adept and make some significant damage on it.
Maybe.
If you lose the adept, it's pretty big blow.
Yeah. Well, this isn't looking so great for the elf all of a sudden, although we still have this woes that's kind of close to leveling, you know?
Well, I think it looks just fine for elf even now still, because that woes, he would get a kill next turn with a woes, and the adept would probably die.
It's true.
To 2 fighters and a mage.
Right.
And then, okay, you don't have 2 adepts anymore. Remember what I said about having 2 adepts?
That's
really important. Because without 2 adepts, that's you might not get even 1 kill, because yeah.
I see.
On the left side, that ghost has been cleaned up, and the elves are coming back to defend the villages.
Yeah, he misses with the woes. You just can't catch a break.
Well, so missing with the woes, he finishes with mage. Oh wow, 4 hits on that fighter. 3 out of 4 from that fighter.
Which is kind of a shame, because that fighter's just going to die this turn probably. So the experience goes right into the trash can.
Why he used that fighter from that slot? But I guess it was so he could make a solid wall to prevent the skeleton from hitting his mage. And that fighter, the other fighter, he's not strong, is he?
I don't think so.
He's resilient,
intelligent.
I guess.
Resilient
intelligent. Okay.
Yeah, this one's strong now.
He needed three hits on the. He needed 18 damage to kill the adept or something. So that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other adept comes up as expected. Slaughters the fighter. Mage goes down 2. Not so good.
Okay.
Not so good for our elven friend.
Okay, so that adept was in range, so he could reach and kill the fighter. And
Yeah.
then I don't know. Maybe he should use the fighter from the other hex. Don't know why Solymos did that.
Yeah, it's maybe a
Because now
misplay.
being able to put the skeleton on the village, that skeleton is going to enjoy healing,
Yep.
and it's not going to leave for a long time.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. I think Solymos should have put this higher hit point elf on the village, right? So that can't happen. You know, and then we could have possibly seen Solymos sort of survive through the night, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think this engage is going to go. I mean, it's obvious it's going in the Undead's favor, right?
Yeah, there's also a ghost to Zoc the leader from. Actually, the leader can reach.
You can reach the
It's not
skeleton
really
warrior.
stopping the leader from doing too much.
Yeah, not really.
But okay, so that ghost does 6-3 against Wozes at night, so it's pretty good unit for hitting Wozes.
Right.
Just one exposed Woz with one fighter, that's not really a force to be scared of for Undead at night.
Although, you know, I do think that Solymos could kill this ghost just with, like, arrows, and then maybe finish with the woes. I don't know.
You could try.
You could try it.
It's not a big chance, but it might be your best bet at this point.
Let's see what happens. Alright, so she's trying to get that archer up to the front.
Yeah.
And this is weird. She's using melee.
Using melee because the hero is on 60%, so it's less likely to get hit, I think. And trying to kill that. Oh wow, 4.
There you go.
Oh wow, another hit.
There you go.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
How much experience does that Woz need? It's one hit from.
He's immortal
now. So actually, that's huge.
Yeah, that's massive.
Woz is blocking. Well, it's not blocking very much. But,
well, the skeleton warrior's not getting away. That's for sure. So this is a big problem for the Undead because we're going to have a big daddy Woz coming out. The old level 2 Woz, which is going to have even more hit points and even more damage. So this might work out just yet for Solymos.
Yeah, it could be anyone's game at this point.
I think so,
where's the bat gun? Can you see? I think the bat is pillaging some more.
Yeah, the bat went up to
pillage.
pillage.
Count heavily.
I think so too.
Yeah, so the bat is going to take the village in the back next turn. And
you know what's interesting is like Dauntless is keeping his options open really because the bat not only can like pillage next turn if he feels like it. If we wanted to, you know, he could actually level the bat up if he felt like it. If he could get the kill on this scout, for instance. Not that I think he's going to go for that option. It's just interesting that it's there, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That village is a good spot for the bat. It not only threatens the other village, but it also helps to contribute something to the fight, at least.
Absolutely.
So good play from Dauntless, yeah.
So he is going for the scout. Big damage at
One hit, 2 hits.
Oh, 3 hits.
3 hits.
He's doing it.
Wow.
No, he's not doing it. He goes for the village, even though he could have gotten that kill with the bat. He decides that the economic damage is just more important.
Well, that is a safe play to do at this point, when you are not scared that you would get when you're scared that you would get unlucky, basically. So that scout, how much hit points does he have?
Oh, it's like 1. It's literally 1.
Wow, okay, yeah. I thought the scout would die from 3 out of 3, but I guess he had enough.
Yeah, I
so that
honestly
also drained a lot.
Yeah,
now
I mean,
it would be hard to kill the ghost.
The ghost got a lot of hit points back, that's for sure. What did he get? Like 2 hit points back for each hit, so 6 hit points. Yeah. That's a lot, considering that's a third of his hit points. You know, that's enormous. Yeah. Fascinating. I mean, this is such a weird situation because you got this Woz here, but he just doesn't have that much to back him up. You know, considering that the scout's on his last legs, and then it's like you've got this fighter, you've got the leader, and then what else is coming? I mean, I guess you have this archer, but he's got to defend the west side, doesn't he?
Yeah, it looks quite tough for Solymos now because you can see the leader is even Zoc from going home to the keep to recruit more units.
Yeah.
You had to first kill the ghost, and that might or might not happen. And that's, in any case, that's good because you're devoting resources that could be used to retake villages or hit adept or do something.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of Elf is losing money. Elf is losing units.
Yeah.
I think probably the thing with what we overlooked earlier with the shaman dying, that was a big swing. That was that swung the game around a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think I would agree with that entirely. So
Okay, needs
he's
one more
going for
hit,
it with the
so
leader, and it's just not working out.
yep, that can definitely happen. Now he gets it with a fighter.
That's weird. Is that weird? He put the woes, or she put the woes on this village. Is that strange? I mean, I know she wants to protect the village, but I mean, the woes is immortal.
Oh, she had to retake the village. There was no other unit that could retake it.
But it's so much damage that she's just giving up.
Yeah, it looks very weird. I mean, it's not what you usually want to do, but when you're so low on units, you have to do stuff like that sometimes.
Sure, sure.
It's just such an awkward. It looks awkward because it is awkward.
Yeah. Well, it's done. I mean, she could have swung on this adept and taken him close to death. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if I agree with that. I mean, this person's probably a much better player than me.
The wolves could not solo kill anything at that point, so and you wouldn't want to have a skeleton in the village at day. So I think it was probably, but it looks very awkward, right?
Yeah, no, I think I'm coming around to it. I think yeah, because it would be very powerful for Dauntless to be able to have a dude on a village, a skeleton warrior on a village. So I can see it. All right. This economic damage is outrageous.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, he gets it anyway.
Killing that scout with a bat. Now that bat is going to be a problem for generations to come.
Yeah.
At this point, he has already gotten enough that he can just go home and enjoy his wins.
Yeah.
Easy wins.
Yes, indeed. Dauntless, I think, is sticking this out. Like he did so much. What we haven't been paying attention to. I mean, we've been talking about the pillaging, but the actual numbers. 4 out of 14, that's a pretty commanding lead. You know, when you only have 4 out of 14, that's pretty bad for your side. You know, I think that Solymos is really feeling the pressure, and that's why you kind of like, sure, we have this big woes about to level up, but what else does she have? You know, she's just like, she's getting overwhelmed by the undead hordes, you know?
Yeah, and even Dauntless was able to start hitting at day and finish the job at night, so there were so many units were bled out by Solymos that it's, I mean, at this point, how many Elvish Fighters? Elvish Fighters are supposed to be your main unit, but how many do you have? Like 2? It's really a bad situation for Solymos.
Not enough to keep the thing going, you know? So she gets another woes.
Oh, no.
Double misses.
Okay, yeah.
Painful.
Woses are good, but when you don't have fighters, it's just very hard to do much with Woses alone, especially at night. Because fighters, they do good damage to adepts at night, but Woses, they're lawful, so they only do 10-2 at night.
Right.
And a fighter can do 5-4. That's like, you're getting the same adept hitting potential with a fighter, with a 14 gold fighter as a Woes.
But more likely to do some damage to it because you'd split into 4 attacks.
Yeah, and then the Woes just doesn't have enough to cover itself from all sides because you don't have fighters. And then it's just, but okay, like probably she got the Woes to hit the skeleton archer on village, or at least try to threaten it off.
Yeah, I think she realizes that
she pretty bad.
Oh, it looks terrible for her, but I think she wants to try to get some villages back. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think she just let too much economic damage happen. If she had protected against this bat, I got to tell you, I think that if there's one thing that pushed this in Dauntless's favor so far, it's that bat. You know, just like the economic damage in the back.
Yeah, even with a bad engagement, I really do feel that there should have been some way for Solymos to avoid losing those units a day.
Yeah.
But can we look at the RNG stats?
Sure. So overall, it's roughly even. Both people have inflicted.
Actually, Solymos was a little bit lucky overall. I feel that it should have been possible to keep more units alive.
I think so too.
Maybe even give up units and give up a village a day if it was absolutely necessary. But
sure, she had such a commanding
imagine if two
lead.
Elvish fighters were more Elvish fighters were alive right now, then it might be a sustainable situation.
Yes.
But now you have to retake villages, you have to heal your wounded fighters, and then night will come again.
Right.
It's just not looking good.
We're gonna see the GGs soon, I think. Oh.
One hit? That's what you need? Oh, okay, one hit only.
Yeah,
Well, we'll
she
see
needed
if
two.
she can get some more.
She's just consolidating. She's not even swinging. This is weird.
Taking the villages again.
Well, I mean, I guess that kind of. I mean, she's still 5 to 14, though. You know.
Yeah, and not getting those units out of your village that day. That's
that bat is still.
I told you it's going to be a problem for all the Elvish generations to
Yeah,
come. There will be legends told about Batman now.
He's leaving guano up in the Elvish attics. I mean, it's all very gross. You got to get this bat out of here.
Yeah.
So he's trying. She's trying, but it's just the bat is unstoppable. He can't even be hit.
Yeah, that bat is Batman, man. Now even the adept is pillaging just on 60% because.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dauntless at this point knows that he can just sort of starve Solymos out.
Yeah, I mean, after the start, what happened? He got those kills that he needed to get, and now he's just kind of even hitting with the skeleton.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Tile.
He knows he can get away with it.
Yeah.
He got a little bit bad luck on his adept attacks versus the woes.
He got a lot of bad luck. 2 out of 6. That's terrible.
Yeah, so far this turn, it doesn't really... minus 100% taken, so that's a lot of, retail that he avoided, but minus 25% inflicted. So maybe not as bad of luck as I thought in terms of inflicting damage. But I mean, check this out. Look at this little configuration. I just want to notice something real quick. Look at this. It looks like some kind of weird dark ritual is happening. You've got these 3 adepts around this woes. They're turning him into like a corrupted treant from Warcraft 3, is what they're doing. Right?
Yeah. That woes is like basically super zocked. He will not go anywhere in this life or the next life. So that's kind of what you get with just having those units. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she GG's?
No, I'm saying that woes is getting GG'd.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
Well, killing that adept, but I don't think it will.
I don't think it's going to do enough.
Yeah. Even if he killed the second adept, he just lost too many units. At this point, what he could do is just take more villages with adepts and... Oh, so they did a load and luck turned around, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I don't know if it's actually like a thing that loading can change
that sounds like something that, people are so ritualistic about RNG. They assume that, a butterfly flew into my room, therefore my luck is worse. People will find reasons like, oh, we reloaded, it messed with the RNG. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I doubt it.
Well, actually, a lot of players have this kind of belief. I know one player, we can keep his name anonymous for now,
okay.
But he told me that he likes to move units back and forth and do like a little shuffling thing. Like the unit is not sure where to go or is pacing back and forth with the extra movement.
Okay.
So actually, he said that he believes that it influences the RNG because I mean, I guess he tried it and it worked sometimes. Of course, I don't believe in it because I'm an atheist. But,
okay.
Like, to each their own, If someone wants to believe that he can do a dance in his bedroom to make the RNG better, so be it.
Yeah,
it makes the game more interesting.
I feel like this has a little more to do with code than religion, but maybe. I don't know. I'd have to code dive myself to be sure about this, but I like the idea of doing a little dance just to make your dudes hit harder. So see, in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup we have this. There's a god. His name is. We're gonna tie it all together to religion again. His name is Zuskawa in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. He's the god of ecstatic dance. And you dance around so hard that you make your enemies literally explode. And I think that Wesnoth could
Wow.
benefit from this concept. Like the little elf does a little back and forth shuffle, and then he sort of teleports into the adept and makes them explode. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, that's like some disco electric like boogaloo shit. I don't know, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's great. It's my favorite mechanic in the entire game. Did you know that there are many ways that you can help support this channel? Read about them on rosecrypto.com/support. At Rose Crypto, you can learn all about cool things like the Brave web browser, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.